Hi Lucinda, could you tell us something about your journey and how you've arrived at this wonderful place in Devon?
Well, to cut a long story short, probably it all goes back to this wonderful horse. I was training in Germany and I had two fantastic horses and it was great, but much as they were fantastic horses for me, they weren't really my horses, and I asked the boss if he could find me my special horse, and he rang me up about this one, and he did say if it's right, it's very right. And I went to see him. I didn't fall in love with him at first sight, thought he looked nice enough, but something very strange happened as I walked towards him to ride him, and I just got in my head this bizarre thing, you belong. And it got me right in the heart, and I just, from that moment on, I was completely besotted with this horse. And we carried on, we trained on in Germany. I had fantastic trainers, real lot of help, and we got him to Grand Prix. I brought him back to England. I settled him in a very English way. He did all sorts of relaxation work, and then when I went back to Germany, the training began in earnest, and he did very, very well. But he was always very, very tense. And I got to a stage out there when I thought, you know, there has to be another way. I'm stressed, he's stressed, and though he can do the work, he doesn't look quite right, and I don't really want to compete him very much. And indeed I did come back and compete him, and I won competitions, but I left the arena in tears because I could feel how the horse was not happy, how he was boiling through the movements, he was frightened of his own canter, and the stress was causing him physical problems. His legs were not in too good a state and his back was sore, and I had to find another way. So by gradual degrees and learning, I made the decision to return them to as natural a state as possible. Obviously this was very, very gradual. Started off with allowing them more time out in the field, and this horse has given me a very special gift because he wasn't able to be shod anymore. His feet were falling apart to such a degree that there was nothing to nail into. When we did manage to get the shoes on, they were so tight he was sore, and then he'd go out in the field, canter across, and the shoes would fly off. So there really wasn't much option. I had a fabulous Grand Prix dressage horse doing amazing piaffe and passage, and yes, and yet no foot, no horse. So we were a bit stuck, really. So I talked to my farrier at length about the possibility of riding him without shoes, and we said we'd give it a go. He was very supportive, and we gave it a go. Now, the first time I walked him down a very, very steep hill that he'd struggled to walk down and breathe at the same time, because he used to gulp air down the hill and hold his back very tight, and I walked him down that hill without shoes, and it was one of the most remarkable feelings I've ever had, and it just confirmed to me that it was the right thing to do. Well, it didn't happen overnight, but gradually everything ended up without shoes, and so it meant that they could all live together in the field, at least spend part of the day out together as a group, and observing them living together, interacting, massaging each other in all the places I would have massaged them previously and did, so we ended up spending a lot of time watching them. And when the girls went to get them in one sunny May evening, I just said, tell you what, don't go back. And they questioned it. And I said, no, I'll get them in if they need to come in. Well, they haven't come in since. We left the beds down in the 65 boxes, but no, they never came in. And a lot has gone on. We have learned a lot. It's a lot of horses for a long time, and we're learning every day. This chap may not be currently competing at Grand Prix. He may not have gained the team place we all dreamt of, but he's given me so much more, so much information, a whole new way of living. And I'm a very different person, and far, far happier, far more loving than I ever could have been in those days.
Hi Lucinda, could you tell us something about how you've arrived at this wonderful place?
We got an outtake.